Hello students, again welcome all of you to this prestigious NLU 75-day challenge. In this one we will discuss some passages related to English language. I am here, Rahul Agnihotri. Will discuss a lot of things with you. So let us start with the things. They are very important. So first of all, as usual, what we do or what we are doing in every mock test, we are just doing some passages. So again, we will do two passages which are related to your English language. So first passage, it is here. So first of all, go through the passage and the questions, then you will do them. Okay, so it should be in your habit, or it should be your habit, reading the questions and their options first, and after that you should read the passage. It will help you answer the questions in a very better way, in a very genuine way. Okay, so first of all, it is written there, what is the tone of the author in this passage? Despairing, alarmist, analytical, nostalgic. So I will talk about every tone, so you will get the answer. But first of all, you should complete it. Next question is that which of the following best captures the central idea of the passage? So when you read, when you have completed the whole passage, what do you think the passage is based on? The passage is based on, and this particular thing is called crux, the theme. So you should talk about the theme or the central idea or the crux of the passage in these four options. One more question. It is the new question that is going to be introduced in this particular mock test. This is actually called sentence arrangement, or you can call it jumbled sentences. So basically, there is a difference between sentence and jumbled sentence. Jumbled sentence, a sentence which is broken in many parts, and sentence arrangement, the passage, a particular passage is broken in many sentences. So when many sentences, you need to arrange them, it is called sentence arrangement. When many parts of a sentence, if they are there in the sentence to be arranged, then this is called jumbled sentences. Okay, so it is actually jumbled sentence, not a sentence arrangement. So, or you can call it sentence arrangement, doesn't matter, but the answer should be correct. Okay, what is called, it is not matter. Now one more question, it is there, which of the following is an opinion stated in the passage? So which opinion is there in the passage? You need to find out. One more question, two more questions are there. Choose the antonym of the verified word. The verified word, somewhere it will be given in the passage. So you need to find out the meaning, and you need to answer here as the antonym. And one more question, what does the word cacophony in the sentence amidst this digital cacophony most likely means? So what is the meaning of cacophony in the sentence, and the whole sentence making the meaning of in these options? You will need to clarify, you will need to opt them. Now we should talk about the passage. First of all, we will go through the passage, what is written there, then we will do the questions, then we will solve the questions. In the age of information, the value of truth is constantly being tested. In this century of information, truth is always there, but it is tested every time. Okay, the internet, while a powerful tool for education connection, also become a breeding ground for misinformation. Internet is a very nice thing. Internet is providing education and many connections, but misinformation and half-truths are also increasing. It is a breeding ground. Okay, so they are also increasing. People no longer simply consume news. They often curate it to fit pre-existing beliefs. People not only consume news, but they consume it which way? If something is according to their pre-existing beliefs, they accept it, otherwise they do not. Curate, the meaning of curate, we will discuss it later. So first of all will be in English. explanation will be in English, then will be in Hindi. Social media platforms driven by algorithm that prioritize engagement over accuracy. Now what is happening on social media? We do not think about accuracy, we think about engagement. Not we think about, these platforms think about. These platforms are organized in a particular way in which they focus on engagement, not accuracy. Often amplify sensationalism at the cost of verified facts. If something is sensational, they will amplify it, they will make it bigger at the cost of verified. They will not think about the facts, they will sensationalize it. This shift has reshaped the role of journalist and media attention. So this shift has reshaped the role of journalists and media houses. So because of that, the role of journalists and media houses are changed, is changed. The traditional idea of objectivity is increasingly challenged by pressures to capture audience attention. We are not talking about objectivity, we are not talking about the real facts, just we are talking about audience attention. Clickbait headlines are those headlines which look dubious, but they are what? Highly sensational. So clickbait headlines and emotionally charged content are not anomalies anymore. So if something is full of sensation, is something full of emotion, they are not irregularities. Anomalies means to say irregularities anymore, but rather the norm. Now they are what? Rules and regulation. If you want to famous yourself, if you want to be a good journalist, or if you want to be a famous media house, they have to sensationalize everything. They have to follow these norms. They are not good, but they are not anomalies. Amidst this digital cacophony, discerning fact from faction has become a skill. In this digital cacophony means to say harsh sound type, discerning fact, we are just getting the facts, able to recognizing the facts. Discerning means to able to recognize facts from fiction has become a skill. Now it is a skill. Discerning fact from fictions. However, the blame cannot solely be placed on technology or media corporations. It is not only because of technology and media corporations. It is happening because consumers are also there. Critical thinking, once nurtured in academic settings, must now be an everyday habit. So critical thinking, when it was in academic settings, now it is where it is everyday's habit now. The ability to question sources, verify information, engage with opposing viewpoints is the cornerstone of the responsible digital. If we want responsible digital citizenship, what should be there? Questions. We should question these things. We should verify information. We should oppose whatever not good for our country, not good for our society. इस इंफॉर्मेशन की दुनिया में आज क्या हो रहा है? जो टेस्ट जो सच्चाई है उसकी लगातार परख हो रही है, उसका लगातार टेस्ट हो रहा है. इंटरनेट एक पावरफुल टूल है एजुकेशन कनेक्शन के लिए, लेकिन ये ब्रीडिंग ग्राउंड बन चुका है मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन और ट्रुथ्स के लिए, हाफ ट्रुथ्स के लिए. अब लोग कंज्यूम नहीं करते न्यूज को, बल्कि उसके साथ क्या करते हैं? प्री एग्जिस्टिंग बिलीफ से अगर वो मैच करती है तो एक्सेप्ट करते हैं उसे. सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म जो एल्गोरिदम का मतलब होता है सेट ऑफ रूल्स. एल्गोरिदम का मतलब सेट ऑफ रूल्स होता है, ये बात ध्यान में रखना, सेट ऑफ रूल्स. और क्यूरेट का मतलब तो टू सेलेक्ट, ऑर्गेनाइज एंड लुक आफ्टर. सेलेक्ट करना, ऑर्गेनाइज करना, उसको फिर देखना, देखभाल करना. क्यूरेट का मतलब ये होता है. सो मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म्स ड्रिवन बाय एल्गोरिदम्स, एक पर्टिकुलर सेट ऑफ रूल्स है जिसमें एंगेजमेंट को प्रायोरिटी दी गई है. एक्यूरेसी भाड़ में जाए, पहले क्या होना चाहिए? एंगेजमेंट होना चाहिए, कितने लोग आके जुड़ रहे हैं इससे. ये बढ़ा देता सेंसेशनलिज्म को, मतलब सेंसेशनल हो रहा है. आपने सुना होगा कई बार ऐसे जो है स्टेटमेंट दिए जाते हैं कि वो आग में घी का काम करने लगते हैं और फैक्ट्स वगैरह पे इतना ध्यान नहीं. दिस शिफ्ट हैज रीशेप्ड. अब ये जर्नलिस्ट और मीडिया का रोल ही बदल दिया है. ट्रेडिशनल आइडिया जो ऑब्जेक्टिविटी का था उसको चैलेंज कर दिया गया है. और किस लिए किया गया है? ऑडियंस अटेंशन गेन करने के लिए। जो हेडलाइंस बनाई जाती है खतरनाक टाइप की, जो सेंसेशनल बन जाए, उनको ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंस दिया रहा है। इमोशनली चार्ज कंटेंट ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट हो गया, और अब तो वो एरर भी नहीं है, एनोमलीज भी नहीं है, मतलब उनमें कोई कमियां भी नहीं है, वो गलत नहीं माना जाता अब। वो अब एक रूल बन चुका, नॉर्म बन चुका है एक। एमिड्स दिस डिजिटल कैकोफनी, यानी कि हार्श साउंड, ये डिजिटल हार्श साउंड्स जो है ना, उनसे हम जो फैक्ट्स निकाल रहे हैं फिक्शन से, आज वो स्किल बन चुके हैं, एज क्रिटिकल एज रीडिंग इटसेल्फ। हाउएवर द ब्लेम कैन नॉट सोली, सिर्फ टेक्नोलॉजी मीडिया कॉर्पोरेशन पर भी ब्लेम नहीं डालना चाहिए। कंज्यूमर्स ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन मस्ट ऑल्सो इवॉल्व, उन्हें भी कुछ सोचना चाहिए। क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग वंस नर्चर्ड इन एकेडमिक, जो एकेडमिक सेटिंग्स में क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग की थी, मस्ट नाउ बी एन एवरीडेज हैबिट, अब उसे हर दिन की जिंदगी में उसे शामिल होना चाहिए हैबिट के तौर पर। क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग जरूरी है, और जो है सोर्सेज गलत है तो उनको क्वेश्चन करना चाहिए, और जो व्यू पॉइंट्स गलत है उनको अपोज करना चाहिए, और यही डिजिटल सिटीजनशिप के सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है, और उन्हें से बियर करना चाहिए। नाउ द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन दैट इज गिवन हियर, व्हाट इज द टोन ऑफ द ऑथर इन द पैसेज? Despairing means to say no hope at all. Alarming means to say that is giving the warning. And analytical, that means to say it is talking about objects, it is talking objectivity, it is talking about data and fact, it is the evolution is there, everything is there, then it is called analytical. Nostalgic, you are talking about something previous, something that was done in your life, you are just remembering it again and again, so please think about that. So the best answer should be there. What एनालिटिकल, उसने एनालाइज किया है चीजों को कि क्या क्या चीजें हैं, एविडेंस भी दिया उसमें कि हम ऐसा कर रहे हैं, गलत कर रहे हैं। तो दिस इज नॉट अलार्मिंग, दिस इज नॉट डेस्पेरिंग, वार्निंग नहीं है, वो बता रहा है कि एनालाइज करके कि क्या क्या चीजें घट रही हैं, तो एनालिसिस है यहाँ पर प्रॉपर उस चीज का। दिस इज व्हाट एनालिटिकल। वन मोर थिंग, विच द फॉलोइंग बेस्ट कैप्चर द सेंट्रल आइडिया ऑफ द पैसेज? The internet has improved educational access worldwide. It is okay. According to the passage, it is not, the passage is not focusing on that. Digital media has strengthened objectivity in journalism. No. Objectivity khatm ho rahi hai. The rise of misinformation has made critical thinking essential, and social media helps connect people across diverse backgrounds. Now, the right answer is what? Rise of misinformation. So, it should be. Now, one more thing it is there. All these things, but it is given the passage. It is given here, discerning fact from fiction has become a skill. So it is given, discerning fact from fiction has become a skill as critical as reading itself. So what should be there? Discerning, it should come first of all, fifth one, discerning fact from fiction, यानी कि one, फिर होगा has become, no, fifth, discerning fact from fiction, third one, has become first one, a skill second one, as critical as fourth one. So 53124, 53124, it is the right one. Please see this, it is given the passage, so no need to worry about it. Discerning fact from fiction has become a skill. So look at this, discerning fact from fiction has become, so 53124. So the right answer is what? D for doctor. So this is the right answer. Clear? Now we should go through for the next one. Which of the following is an opinion stated in the passage? What is the opinion given here? The internet spread misinformation. No, this is not the opinion. Clickbait headlines, जो dubious होती हैं, जो सही भी है गलत है पता नहीं, लेकिन वो ऐसी होती है उनको लोग क्लिक करते ही करते हैं, है ना? So clickbait headlines are not anomalies anymore. People curate news to fit their beliefs. Critical thinking must become an everyday habit. वो एक सजेस्ट कर रहा है कि आपको क्या करना चाहिए, क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग लानी चाहिए. So this is the opinion, यही ओपिनियन दी गई है. Okay, now choose the antonym verified. Now verified means to say genuine, confirmed, accurate. Many words are there, but antonym is asked. So this is what synonym. This is synonym. This is synonym. This is synonym. So this is the right answer. Antonym. What is the word cacophony in the sentence? Cacophony means to harsh sound. So the right answer is what? A for apple. A confusing mixing of opinion and noise. Noise is there, so that is why we have followed this one as an answer. Musical harmony, it is not there because it is given the negative point of view. So the right answer is what? Cacophony goes to a confusing mix of opinions and noise. Is it clear? Now we should go for the next one. Now some questions are here. With the following the factual statement based on the passage, you will read the passage, you can gain it. Again, this is coming here, so it will be given the passage. According to passage, you need to find out. And some more questions. With the following best describe the shift in the tone across the passage. So what is the tone? Optimistic to nostalgic, informative, argumentative, critical to constructive, neutral to alarmist. So you need to find it out. अच्छा, पिछले वाले में अलार्मिस्ट भी बन सकता था, लेकिन अलार्मिस्ट इसलिए नहीं होगा क्योंकि वो सिर्फ आपको एक वार्निंग ही नहीं दे रहा, उसके फैक्ट्स एंड फिगर्स को भी क्लियर कर रहा है कि कैसे ये हो रहा है. That is why analytical point of view is the best one. Here you will have to find out the tone. Again, arrangement is there. One more thing, what is the meaning of the phrase behavioral nudges? Somewhere it is used in the passage. And last one, again an arrangement, it is given here. So just go through the passage so you can solve the questions easily. It is given here. In some minutes you will finish it. As technology become increasingly intertwined with our daily routines, it subtly reshapes the way we think, interact and even feel. What is happening in today's life? In our daily routine means to say whatever we do every day, we use technology, we take help from technology. So technology and daily routine are mixed up together, they are closely connected, and it is subtly, means to say it is quietly reshaping our thinking, interaction and feelings. सब कुछ बदल रहा है, इतना आपस में डेली रूटीन में हम टेक्नोलॉजी को यूज कर रहे हैं कि चुपचाप से हमारी चीजों को बदल डिस्क्रीटली ऐसा कर रहा है. Notifications, instant messaging, endless scrolling are not just features, they are behavioral nudges. Notification, instant messages और ये सब चीजें जो हैं अब क्या है, behavioral nudges बन गए, यानी कि हमारे behavior का हिस्सा बन गए हैं, हमारे behavior को signaling कर रहे हैं. ये tech companies invest billions in creating interfaces that are not only user friendly but also habit forming. Now what is done by these what is being done by these tech companies? They are investing billions of billions dollars in what? Creating interfaces by which we are, what is happening there? We are not talking about they are user friendly, they are creating habit. If we do not use our mobile phones for 1 hour, we feel what? Anxiety. We are not comfortable without phone. If phone with us, we are feeling comfortable. So you can understand this is the thing that is really going on, but it is going subtly. It is hardly noticeable. इसे पता ही नहीं चल रहा है. टेक कंपनीज लाखों करोड़ों रुपए खर्च करें इन इंटरफेसेस पर ताकि ये हैबिट बन जाए. This design isn't accidental. It is not like by chance. Built on behavioral psychology. Behavioral psychology is behind that particular scenario. ये behavioral psychology है जो इसके पीछे काम कर रही है. ऐसे ही नहीं हो गया. Exploiting human tendencies for reward and gratification. Human tendencies, हम कैसे सोचते हैं, कैसे काम करते हैं, ये सब चीजें बहुत ध्यान से देखी जा रही हैं. Gratification means to say pleasure and satisfaction. वहां तक हमको लेके जा रही. While many praise the convenience and connectivity of digital tools, people appreciate it. People appreciate this convenience and connect. We have a lot of connectivity, so they are very good things. Others warn that our attention spans are shrinking. But others are giving the warning. What type of warnings are there? Our thinking is shrinking, contracting, our patience thinning, our capacity for deep thought diminishing. हमारी जो सोचने की शक्ति है वो कम होती जा रही है. हमारा पेशेंस भी कम होता जा रहा है, हमारी कैपेसिटी और जो बहुत डीप थॉट करने की है वो भी खत्म हो रही है, डिमिनिशिंग हो रही है. कांस्टेंट डिजिटल स्टिमुलेशन में कीप अस ऑक्यूपाइड बट नॉट नेसेसरी फुलफिल्ड. ये लगातार डिजिटल स्टिमुलेशन है, हमें ऑक्यूपाई तो कर रहा है पर हमें सेटिस्फैक्शन के लेवल तक नहीं ले जा रहा. The mind, much like the body, needs period of rest and reflection to function optimally. We need some rest. We need our body needs rest. Our mind needs rest, but we don't have. The challenge then lies in developing digital self awareness. It is not about rejecting. जो डिजिटल सेल्फ अवेयरनेस चाहिए इसके लिए जरूरी नहीं कि टेक्नोलॉजी को रिजेक्ट कर दे, but about using it with intention. But there should be some intention. Without that, it is useless. कुछ intention होना चाहिए. Mindless scrolling can be replaced with mindful usage. If we have mindful scrolling, then it is okay. But it is mindless scrolling, then it is useless. Just as we learn to read and write, the future may require us to learn how to log in responsibly, aware of not just what we consume, but also what it consumes from us. हमें ये सीखना होगा लॉग इन करते समय कि हम क्या कंज्यूम कर रहे हैं, ये नहीं बल्कि हमसे वो क्या कंज्यूम कर रहा है, ये भी बहुत जरूरी है सीखना. तो हमारा लॉग इन बहुत रिस्पॉन्सिबल वे में होना चाहिए. नाउ many sentences questions are there. Which of the following is factual statement based on the passage? Technology is ruining humanity. Obviously हो सकता है. Tech companies invest in habit forming interfaces. People should stop using phones after 8 p.m. Mindless scrolling is a sign of addiction. So my dear students, when we go through the first one, technology is ruining humanity. It is not ruining totally. ये अच्छा भी है, बुरा नहीं है, ये कुछ हद तक ये अच्छा भी है, इससे हमें नॉलेज भी मिलती है. सो इट इज नॉट रीडिंग एवरीथिंग, सो इट इज नॉट, this is totally negative. It is not possible. Tech companies invest, might be, but go for the third one. People should stop. No, it is not possible. It is not feasible. It is not pliant. Mindless scrolling is a sign of addiction. Mindless scrolling is a sign of addiction. It is okay. But the factual statement in the passage is what? Tech companies invest in habit forming interfaces. And because of this, everything is happening in this way. Now, just as login responsibly we learn, the future may require. It is given the passage somewhere. Now, we should go through it. The future may require. The future may require us to. So, first of all, the fourth one, then fifth one. Okay, fourth and fifth. It is there. The future may require. No, fourth one. The future may require us to. Fourth one, then fifth one. Fourth, fifth. The future may require us to learn. Where is learn? It is not given here. Where is learn? So, not clearly. Now, just leave it. We should go from here. Just as it is given here. No, it should not be like this. We got confused. It is starting from here. Just as. First of all, just as, first one. We learn. Third one. To read and write. The future. To read and write. First, third. Somewhere. It is first, third, fourth, fifth. So, first, third, fourth, the future may require us fourth, fifth. Now, this one is the right answer. Second one, we can get it. Okay. Now, which of the following best describe the shift in the tone across the passage? It is optimistic. No, it is not talking about the optimism. शुरू में तो ये बहुत बुरा बोल रहा था, तो critical point of view था. So, optimism नहीं था. Not possible. Informative नहीं, critical था. From critical बाद में बता रहा है कि हमें क्या करना चाहिए. So this is what critical to constructive. And the tenth question is there. Arrange to form a coherent sentence. Of rest, the mind and reflection needs periods to function optimally. So the right answer is what? This is also given the passage somewhere. This is also given the passage somewhere. Can you think about it? It is given somewhere and reflection. So we should go through the passage so we can get it. It is given somewhere in the passage. It is given here. It is given here. The mind, much like the body, needs periods of rest and reflection to function optimally. Now, the mind and reflection needs periods to function optimally. So, somewhere it is. So, first of all, second one. Okay. First of all, second one. The mind needs period. The fourth one. The mind needs periods of rest. Yes. The second, fourth and first. So, this is the answer. Now, we have to tally it. The mind, much like the body, needs period of rest and reflection. So, period of rest and reflection. Period of rest. Period of rest and reflection. So, fourth need periods of rest. Fourth one, first one and reflection, third one. So, it is the right answer. A for apple. All are given, all parts are given in the passage in a sentence, so you can get it easily. There is no problem. Now, what is the meaning of the passage behavioral nudges? What should be the best answer? Behavioral nudges means to say what? Physical movement induced by technology, sudden urges to use gadgets and technical glitches in user interfaces. उसमें कोई कमियां तो है नहीं. Subtle design cues. Cues means to say to give signal that influence human actions. So the right answer is what? C for cat. And the last one, for forward based on behavioral psychology, these interfaces are designed in gratification. So what should be the forward for reward and gratification? 1 and 5th will be joined together. 1 and 5th. Where are they? In these. So this is not applicable in these three. These three should be the answer. So first of all, we should start with this fourth one. These interfaces are designed based on fourth and second. So this is the right answer. Fourth, second, third. So these interfaces are designed based on behavioral psychology for reward and gratification. The right answer is the fourth, second, third, first and fifth. Clear? So all these questions are done. So in this particular test, we will have learnt a new thing, arranging sentences or jumbled sentences are there, and some more questions. So my dear students, whatever we have learnt, whatever we have discussed, whatever I have tried to teach you will definitely be very beneficial. And one thing more, the words that are very important in your vocabulary, for your vocabulary, please, the words that are given in these two passages, please learn them, please revise them again and again. So if they come in your examination, so you can do them or you can understand them very easily. So my dear students, इसी के साथ इस क्लास को, इस मॉक टेस्ट को जो है वो हम खत्म करेंगे और उम्मीद करता हूँ काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें हमें सीखी होंगी. आज जो वोकैबुलरी इसमें दी गई उसको जरूर लर्न करना. थैंक यू बीइंग विद मी. लव यू ऑल. जय हिंद, जय भारत.
Hello everyone, welcome to Drishti CLAT program, the 75 days NLU challenge, and I am Shashank welcoming you all in the discussion of GK and current affairs. Friends, GK and current affairs has weightage of 25% in CLAT paper. So it is an important segment, my dear friends, and the questions are also a bit different. Now you must have seen that the question that comes through the passage, so there is a passage of around 150 to 200 words and there are 5 questions related to that. Some of the students, they think that it is nothing new, it is just an RC passage where you have to read the question and then you have to find the answer and just you have to bubble the option. But my dear friends, but it is not 100% true. You will find that in some of the passages you will find that it is just an inference. That means ki what this passage is all about, you will read the passage and just you will get to know the inference, and then you have to solve 5 questions. Sometimes it is based on the passage, sometimes it is not. So it is better to say that it's not an RC passage, it is just an inferential passage. So my dear friends, today I will be discussing with you the mock test number 9 and GK and current affairs question. Now guys, here is the passage that is about the Indian Himalayan region, and that is the climate change. So the Indian Himalayan region, and that is the challenges due to the climate action. So it is about Indian Himalayan region and climate change. Now let's see the questions. Now, which of the following is not identified as contributing factor to the disaster in Indian Himalayas? First of all guys, it is unplanned urbanization, seismic activity, strong enforcement on environment regulation, climate change. अब यहाँ पर दोस्तों, यहाँ पर देखोगे आप कि देखो, और इस पैसेज को बहुत तेजी से सबसे पहले पढ़ना है और उसको इंटरप्रेट भी करते चलना है, यानी आपकी जो रीडिंग का स्पीड होना चाहिए वो फास्ट होना चाहिए, और ताकि आप कम समय में पूरा पैसेज को प्रॉपरली पढ़ करके समझ सकें. अब यहां देखोगे, इन द ईयर 2025 विटनेस सेवरल कैटास्ट्रोफिक इवेंट इन द रीजन लाइक अनप्रेसिडेंटेड रेनफॉल इन देहरादून एंड दैट लेड टू द फ्लडिंग ओवरसीन सिचुएशन. नाउ गाइज, यहां पर आप देखोगे, इसके अलावा जब आप देखोगे कि which of the following is not a disastering factor. So mountain challenges due to climate change. यहाँ देखो, the Indian Himalayan region is facing the climate change due to increase in the climate induced disaster, unplanned development, fragile ecosystem. अब यहाँ पर है कि which of the following is not identified. तो यहाँ पर है not identified as this. So पहला है unplanned urbanization, systemic activity, strong enforcement of इन्वायरमेंट रेगुलेशन एंड क्लाइमेट चेंज. तो इसमें से ऐसा कौन सा सिचुएशन नहीं है? तो कौन सा सिचुएशन नहीं है दोस्तों? तो करेक्ट आंसर क्या होगा? करेक्ट आंसर विल बी ऑप्शन सी, दैट इज स्ट्रॉन्ग इन्फोर्समेंट ऑफ इन्वायरमेंटल रेगुलेशन. अगर स्ट्रॉन्ग इन्फोर्समेंट ऑफ इन्वायरमेंटल रेगुलेशन होगा तो डिजास्टर तो आएगी ही नहीं. तो और जो इन्वायरमेंटल रेगुलेशन को स्ट्रांगली इन्फोर्स करोगे तो डिजास्टर तो आने से रही. तो करेक्ट आंसर क्या होगा? करेक्ट आंसर विल बी ऑप्शन सी. नाउ व्हिच नेचुरल इवेंट in 2025 caused the worst flowing in Dehradun over 100 years. अब देखो यहाँ पर है कि the year 2025 witnessed several catastrophic events like unprecedented rainfall in Dehradun led to the city's worst flooding over a century. तो यहाँ पर दोस्तों है ग्लेशियल आउटबर्स्ट नहीं होगा, क्लाउड बर्स्ट इन उत्तरकाशी ये तो बिल्कुल अलग है, रिकॉर्ड ब्रेकिंग मॉनसून रेनफॉल. तो करेक्ट आंसर होगा रिकॉर्ड ब्रेकिंग मॉनसून रेनफॉल. नेक्स्ट है कि द चिपको मूवमेंट इज साइटेड इन द पैसेज दैट एम्फेसाइज द इंपॉर्टेंस ऑफ. तो यहां पर दोस्तों आप देखोगे कि इस पैसेज में बताया भी हुआ है कि पास्ट committees like Mishra Committee 1976 called for the constructional bans on vulnerable zone. The Chipko movement demonstrated the power of grassroots conservation. तो यहाँ पर भाई क्या है? लीगल रिफॉर्म्स फॉर डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट नहीं, स्टेट स्पॉन्सर्ड कंजर्वेशन प्रोग्राम नहीं, कम्युनिटी लेड इन्वायरमेंटल प्रोटेक्शन और टेक्नोलॉजिकल इनोवेशन इन डिजास्टर फोरकास्टिंग बिल्कुल नहीं. तो करेक्ट आंसर क्या होगा फ्रेंड्स? करेक्ट आंसर होगा ऑप्शन सी. तो ये आप अपने कॉमन सेंस के थ्रू भी आंसर कंक्लूड कर सकते हैं. नेक्स्ट है कि अकॉर्डिंग टू द पैसेज विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग टेक्नोलॉजी इज बेस्ट टू इंप्रूव द डिजास्टर प्रिपेयर्डनेस. अब देखो यहां पर इसका आंसर आपको मिल गया कि द टेक्नोलॉजीज लाइक AI enabled forecasting, drone surveillance and GIS mapping being integrated into the early warning system. ब्लॉकचेन वेरिफिकेशन नहीं है, AI enabled forecasting and drones. तो ये करेक्ट आंसर होगा ऑप्शन बी. नेक्स्ट है कि व्हाट इज द की रिकमेंडेशन ऑफ मिश्रा कमिटी इन द पैसेज. प्राइवेटाइजेशन ऑफ डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट, इंक्रीजिंग टूरिज्म इन द हिमालयन रीजन, बैनिंग द कंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ इन डिजास्टर प्रोन एरियाज. तो करेक्ट आंसर होगा फ्रेंड्स ऑप्शन सी. Now, which of the following best captures the central idea? Central idea of the passage: India should reduce the dependency on technology. No. Himalayan region are naturally resilient and requires no intervention. Disaster preparedness in IHR must blend technology, policy, communication, action. More hydroelectric dams are needed to control the flooding in Himalaya. तो बेसिकली ये IHR और उसके टेक्नोलॉजी, पॉलिसी फॉर कम्युनिटी एक्शन. करेक्ट आंसर होगा ऑप्शन सी. तो करेक्ट आंसर फ्रेंड्स होगा ऑप्शन सी. तो यहां पर भी आप देख रहे हो कि आराम से क्वेश्चंस निकल जा रहा, आंसर मिल जा रहा है. दैट इज 4-5 क्वेश्चंस आर देयर एंड 3-4 ऑफ देम आर फ्रॉम द पैसेज. अब दोस्तों नेक्स्ट जो न्यूज है दैट इज अबाउट द इंक्लूजन ऑफ लद्दाख एंड शेड्यूल 6 ऑफ इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, जो असम, त्रिपुरा, मेघालय और मिजोरम से डील करता है. तो ये नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न स्टेट्स असम, त्रिपुरा, मेघालय एंड मिजोरम को डील करता है. अब यहां पर देखो पूरा का पूरा पैसेज आपको बताए मिला हुआ है, अराउंड 150 वर्ड्स का है. तो वाई इंक्लूजन अंडर 6 शेड्यूल इज particularly appealing to the many people in Ladakh. It will give the Ladakh full statehood, complete independence from center. सेंटर से भाई complete independence तो मिल ही नहीं सकता, that is wrong. It removes the union government power over defense and security, नहीं. It allows Ladakh to join Northeast Council of the States, ये भी नहीं. It offers the constitutional safeguard for the tribal identity, land rights and local governance will be the correct answer. इसके बाद दोस्तों नेक्स्ट है कि विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज अ वैलिड कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल चैलेंज इंक्लूडिंग द लद्दाख इन 6th शेड्यूल. लद्दाख lacks in Buddhist majority and like the 6th schedule areas. 6th schedule is originally applicable to the tribal areas of the northeast state. Ladakh has already covered under 5th schedule. The president must personally approve the inclusion under article 356. तो आर्टिकल 356 तो भाई सीधा सीधा नेशनल इमरजेंसी को डील करता है, तो ये तो हो नहीं सकता. सॉरी, स्टेट इमरजेंसी को डिस्कस करता है. तो यहां पर दोस्तों होगा कि द लद्दाख स्टेट इमरजेंसी को आर्टिकल 356 डिस्कस करता है कि द 6th शेड्यूल ओरिजिनली एप्लीकेबल टू द ट्राइबल एरियाज इन द नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न स्टेट्स. तो करेक्ट आंसर होगा ऑप्शन बी, चूंकि ये असम, त्रिपुरा, मेघालय और मिजोरम पर ही एप्लीकेबल है. विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग बेस्ट कैप्चर्स द कॉन्ट्राडिक्शन बिटवीन लद्दाख स्ट्रेटेजिक सिग्निफिकेंस, लोकल ऑटोनॉमी डिमांड्स एज डिस्कस्ड इन द पैसेज. अब इस पैसेज को पढ़ोगे, द नीड टू इंप्रूव द बुद्धिस्ट कॉन्फ्लिक्ट इन द ट्राइबल ऑटोनॉमी नहीं. लोकल गवर्नमेंट थ्रेटन्स नेशनल आइडेंटिटी इन द बॉर्डर स्टेट. फुल ऑटोनॉमी में impede centralized security operation in sensitive border region. Inclusion of 6th schedule would nullify all central laws in Ladakh. तो ऐसा तो है नहीं, तो इसका करेक्ट आंसर क्या होगा कि फुल ऑटोनॉमी में impede the centralized security operation and in a sensitive border region. नेक्स्ट है दोस्तों कि कंसिडर द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट रिगार्डिंग the schedule 6. It allows the autonomous district council with the law making power. It can be extended to any union territory via president through notification of article 370. It currently applies to the all selected northeastern states. देखो आर्टिकल 370 तो JNK को डील करता था, स्पेशल स्टेटस तो GNK वो तो खत्म है. तो जो सेकंड स्टेटमेंट है भाई वो गलत है. तो ये 3 तो यूं ही एलिमिनेट हो गया. करेक्ट आंसर क्या होगा ऑप्शन बी 1 and 3. तो दोस्तों अगर आपका करंट अफेयर्स अच्छे से कवर अप किया हुआ है तो बहुत ज़्यादा आपको पैसेज पढ़ने की भी ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ेगी। तो इसलिए मैं हमेशा कहता हूं कि जो इंपॉर्टेंट करंट अफेयर्स अगर आपने प्रॉपरली कवर कर लिया तो बहुत ज़्यादा आपको पैसेज रीड आउट करने की ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ेगी, डायरेक्टली आप क्वेश्चन के थ्रू भी आंसर कर दोगे। तो ये इंपॉर्टेंस है जीके का कि अगर आपका अच्छे से चीज़ें समझा हुआ है, उस पर प्रॉपर आपके नोट्स हैं, नोट्स रिवाइज्ड हैं, तो बहुत आसानी से आप चीज़ों को बिना पैसेज पढ़े हुए भी आंसर कर दोगे। सो दैट वी आर सीइंग कि यहाँ से हमने डायरेक्टली आंसर करना शुरू कर दिया। इसके बाद है दोस्तों, इन कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ द लद्दाख विच इज मोस्ट लाइकली रैशनल टू क्रिएट अ सेपरेट लद्दाख पब्लिक सर्विस कमीशन टू इनेबल द मिलिट्री रिक्रूटमेंट इन लद्दाख। मिलिट्री रिक्रूटमेंट को पब्लिक सर्विस कमीशन से मतलब नहीं है। टू सेंट्रलाइज रिक्रूटमेंट अलोंग अक्रॉस ऑल यूनियन टेरिटरी, तो सारी यूनियन टेरिटरी चूंकि सेंटर के कंट्रोल में रहते हैं तो वहां पर तो डायरेक्टली यूपीएससी के थ्रू ही अपॉइंटमेंट होता है। टू इंश्योर द लोकल रिक्रूटमेंट एंड रिजर्वेशन इन गवर्नमेंट, तो यहाँ की पब्लिक को रिजर्वेशन और लोकल रिक्रूटमेंट में फायदा होगा। सो दैट इज करेक्ट। टू प्राइवेटाइज द पब्लिक एम्प्लॉयमेंट इन द रीजन, तो ये तो बिल्कुल नहीं चलेगा। तो करेक्ट आंसर हो गया सी। Now, which of the following reflects the balanced solution proposed in the passage to address the Ladakh governance without full statehood? Merge Ladakh and Jammu Kashmir, restore Article 370 नहीं, to impose president rule permanently in Ladakh ये भी नहीं, strengthen Ladakh Hill Development Council and consider tailored 6 schedule framework, replace all Ladakh Northeast with the zonal council, तो सी भी डी भी नहीं होगा। करेक्ट आंसर होगा ऑप्शन सी। तो करेक्ट आंसर फ्रेंड्स होगा ऑप्शन सी। तो करेक्ट आंसर होगा ऑप्शन सी। तो आप इसको भी आप एक लॉजिकल स्ट्रीम के थ्रू आंसर कर सकते हैं। तो आई होप यहां तक क्लियर है। अब यहां पर दोस्तों यूनाइटेड नेशन की 80th एनिवर्सरी के बारे में ये पैसेज है, पूरा पैसेज है। अब यहां पर आप देखोगे कि विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग मेजर क्रिटिसाइज द यूएन सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल स्ट्रक्चर एज डिस्कस्ड इन द पैसेज। अब देखो डिस्कस्ड इन द पैसेज यूनाइटेड नेशन सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल का क्या है। यहां पर आप देखोगे दोस्तों कि डिजाइन इन 1945 particularly the Security Council no longer reflects the modern geopolitical realities with 5 permanent member often blocks the consensus given on the issues in the crisis scene in Syria, Ukraine, India. Part of G4 along with Brazil, Germany has emerged as a strong leadership of the revolt of this reform. अब यहां पर है विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज द बेस्ट रिफ्लेक्ट्स द मेजर क्रिटिसिज्म ऑफ यूनाइटेड नेशन सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल। यूएन सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल इज एंटायरली कंपोज्ड ऑन नॉन डेमोक्रेटिक कंट्रीज, बिल्कुल नहीं। its structure, it is based on the post World War II realities, excluded the current global powers like India, Brazil. It allows the regional organization like BRICS to dictate globally. The Security Council cannot pass any resolution without General Assembly approval. तो इसका करेक्ट आंसर दोस्तों क्या होगा, मेजर क्रिटिसिज्म कि the structure is based on the post World War realities, current global power like India and Brazil. Now, what is the key reform as a part of G4 advocates the United Nations Security Council? That is the expansion of permanent and non-permanent members in the UN Security Council. तो इसका करेक्ट आंसर दोस्तों होगा ऑप्शन सी, जो यहां से हमें मिल रहा है। जैसे देखो यहां पर है भी कि India's position for prominent global south contribute peacekeeping moral. It argues to expand the permanent and non-permanent representation in the Security Council. तो expansion of permanent and non-permanent members in the Security Council. Next है दोस्तों कि why current UN funding is model considered problematic as per the passage. It depends entirely on private donor. It led to the financial manipulation by smaller countries. It over relies on a few major power granting them undue influence. It use cryptocurrency without global consensus. अब देखो यहां पर देख लो कि the United Nations also face criticism on financial dependency on a few donor nations, especially US, which contribute 22% of the regular budget. तो अब यहाँ पर दोस्तों कहीं ना कहीं जो आप देख रहे हो कि इट ओवर रिलाइज ऑन फ्यू मेजर पावर्स ग्रांटिंग देम अनड्यू इन्फ्लुएंस। तो करेक्ट आंसर होगा भाई ऑप्शन सी। तो करेक्ट आंसर होगा ऑप्शन सी कि यहाँ पर कुछ पावर्स को अनड्यू इन्फ्लुएंस दिया जा रहा है, जैसे लाइक यूएसए। नाउ हाउ हैज इंडिया डेमोन्स्ट्रेटेड द कमिटमेंट फॉर रिप्रेजेंटिंग द ग्लोबल साउथ एज मेंशन्ड इन द पैसेज। अब यहां पर देखोगे कि ग्लोबल साउथ एट 2024 G20 summit, India championed African Union permanent membership, reinforcing its commitment for the global south. अब ग्लोबल साउथ के लिए इंडिया ने G20 में परमानेंट मेंबरशिप दी अफ्रीकन यूनियन को। तो यहां पर है बाय एडवोकेटिंग द अफ्रीकन यूनियन परमानेंट मेंबरशिप इन G20। नेक्स्ट है द पैसेज मेंशन्ड द वीटो पावर हैज बीन मिसयूज्ड इन रिसेंट कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, व्हिच बेस्ट डिस्क्राइब द पॉसिबल सॉल्यूशन। Abolish the veto power entirely through the simple majority vote, then introduce differential vote that can be overridden by the supermajority in the General Assembly, allow only NATO countries to exercise veto power, extend veto power to all 193 US members. To introduce a differentiated veto that can be overridden by supermajority in the United Nations General Assembly, चूंकि इससे होगा क्या कि सभी को जो डोमिनेंस है जो P5 कंट्रीज का वो खत्म हो जाएगा। According to the passage, why India's role in UN peacekeeping mission is significant in context of the reform advisory. So India has refused to participate in the UN peacekeeping mission. India uses peacekeeping as a leverage for economic benefit. India trains UN peacekeeper and its national academics. नहीं। तो करेक्ट आंसर क्या होगा कि India's substantial troop contribution given the political credibility greater than says United Nations decisions। तो इसका करेक्ट आंसर होगा दोस्तों ऑप्शन सी। तो यहां पर दोस्तों हम लोगों ने देखा कि ये पैसेज तो थोड़ा टेक्निकल था, जिसको हम ऑप्शंस के जरिए भी सॉल्व कर सकते हैं, और इसके अलावा जो है कि जो हमारा कॉमन जीके और करंट अफेयर्स का नॉलेज है जो हमने अक्वायर किया है थ्रू द डिस्कशन ऑन जीके एंड करंट अफेयर्स, उसको भी बेटर यूटिलाइज कर सकते हैं। तो देखो यहाँ पर है कि आपका जीके और करंट अफेयर्स का आपका पहले से नॉलेज अगर अच्छा है, टॉपिक्स आपने अच्छे से पढ़ रखे हैं, उसको प्रॉपर रिवाइज कर रखा है, सो दैट बिकम्स वेरी इजी फॉर यू टू गो थ्रू द टॉपिक्स इजीली, और फिर यहाँ पर आपके चांसेस बढ़ जाते हैं कि आप कम टाइम लगेगा आपको पैसेज पढ़ने में, या कई बार होगा कि डायरेक्टली आप क्वेश्चन पर लैंड करके सीधा सीधा उस क्वेश्चन का आंसर कर दोगे और आपका काम इजीली डन हो जाएगा। सो आई होप माय डियर फ्रेंड्स यहाँ तक सब आपको बातें समझ में आ गई होंगी, और अब मिलते हैं अपने अगले सेशन में। और ध्यान रखिए दोस्तों, अगर आप अपकमिंग क्लैट एग्जाम को अटेम्प्ट करने जा रहे हैं तो ये सेशन आपके लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि कैसे पैसेज को पढ़ना है। आपकी रीडिंग स्पीड फ्रेंड्स फास्ट होनी चाहिए ताकि आप तेजी से पैसेज को पढ़कर इंटरप्रेट कर सकें और फिर उससे जुड़े हुए क्वेश्चंस को आंसर कर सकें। और अगर आप क्लैट एग्जाम के लिए प्रिपेयर करने का मन बना रहे हैं, सो दिस इज द राइट वे कि आपको क्लैट के पेपर की अंडरस्टैंडिंग हो जाएगी कि किस तरीके से पेपर आता है और क्या इसकी नीड्स एंड डिमांड्स हैं। तो फ्रेंड्स आई होप आज के सेशन से आपको एक इंसाइट मिला होगा कि पेपर को किस तरीके से अटेम्प्ट करना है और सॉल्व करना है, जहां आपका कॉमन सेंस प्लस जीके एंड करंट अफेयर्स की नॉलेज और कुछ अगर पैसेज से हेल्प आउट हो जा रहा है तो वो आपके लिए कितना इंपॉर्टेंस रहेगा। तो आज के सेशन में फ्रेंड्स बस इतना ही, मिलते हैं अपने अगले सेशन में। और वीडियो अगर आपको पसंद आ रही हो, हमारा डिस्कशन आपको अच्छा लग रहा हो, तो वीडियो को लाइक और सेशन को शेयर जरूर कर दीजिएगा। सो थैंक्स एवरीवन फॉर बीइंग द पार्ट एंड बीइंग द पेशेंट लिसनर्स।
हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम बैक टू दृष्टि जुडिशरी। आई होप कि आपने बाकी 2 मॉक्स को अच्छे से एनालाइज किया मेरे साथ। नेक्स्ट मॉक की तरफ चलते हैं, शुरू करते हैं। कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पे है पहला पैसेज, राइट टू इक्वालिटी वन ऑफ द कोर पिलर्स ऑफ इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन। बिल्कुल सही बात है। एम्बॉडीड इन आर्टिकल 14 टू आर्टिकल 17, principle states every individual is entitled to equality before law and equal protection of laws, prohibiting discrimination on grounds of religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth. Doctrine of equality, however, does not mandate absolute uniformity in application of law. Instead, incorporates the principle of reasonable classification, whereby persons who are similarly situated must be treated alike, while those who are not similarly placed may be subject to differential treatment in order to achieve substantive fairness. ठीक है. Prohibition of child marriage imposes different minimum legal ages for marriage to protect minors, which is a reasonable classification. अब दिए हुए हैं इसमें, ठीक है. Ensures general equality, prohibits state and private individuals from discriminating in access to public spaces, restaurants, hotels, well tanks or places. Guarantees equality of opportunity in matters of public employment, while also permitting reservations for scheduled caste, scheduled tribes and other backward classes to correct historical injustices, ensure adequate representation. 17 abolishes untouchability, makes it practice punishable offence under law of civil rights, scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. Constitutional guarantees resonate with international human rights principle enshrined in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Affirms equality, dignity, equal opportunity for all human beings irrespective of their social and cultural background. Okay. Simple yet interesting passage. Which of the following correctly explains the principle of reasonable classification? Treating all individuals exactly the same under all laws, ये नहीं है reasonable classification. Treating individuals differently only when they are not similarly situated, ये है. Allowing discrimination on the basis of religion, absolutely not. Prohibiting any form of differential treatment, ये भी नहीं है, B है ना. What does Article 15 specifically prohibit in India? Discrimination by private individuals only, नहीं. By state only, नहीं. Both by state and private individuals. ठीक है. Provision 16 allowing reservation for scheduled castes, scheduled tribes aims to grant special privilege without any constitutional basis. Correct historical injustices. ये तो पैसेज में दिया हुआ है, pretty simple है ना. मैंने और पढ़े भी नहीं ऑप्शन, पैसेज में ही दे रखा था इसलिए ट्रिक कर दिया, और सही भी होगा मुझे लगता है. Which of the following statement, this passage is completely based on your focus. इसमें रीजनिंग से ज़्यादा फोकस है क्योंकि पैसेज से स्ट्रेट निकल रहा है आंसर. Which of the following statement is true regarding untouchability? Untouchability is abolished and criminalized only in government. गलत है ये. Untouchability is abolished and its practice is punishable throughout India. ये सही है. Is only discouraged, is only allowed. No, it is not only discouraged, it is also penalized. Punishment भी है ना. Civil Rights Act. से काट देना Civil Rights Act. गलत बोल दिया मैंने. क्वेश्चन 35 पे आते हैं. प्रिंसिपल ऑफ रीजनेबल क्लासिफिकेशन अंडर 14 एक्सक्लूड्स क्लासिफिकेशन बेस्ड ऑन इंटेलिजिबल डिफरेंशियल. इसे तो इंक्लूड किया जाता है तो काट दो. डिफरेंशियल ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ पर्सन्स इन डिफरेंट सिचुएशंस, ये भी इंक्लूडेड है तो सही आंसर नहीं. आर्बिट्रेरी और अनरीजनेबल क्लासिफिकेशन विद नो रैशनल बेसिस, दिस इज द आंसर obviously. A local government passes a law reserving community halls only for certain religious groups. Citizen challenges this law. Which constitutional principle will be examined first? Right to equality and prohibition of discrimination under Article 15. ये कहाँ से आ गया, ये कहाँ से आ गया, ये तो बिल्कुल ही कहाँ से आ गया. इक्वालिटी पे पैसेज था, इक्वालिटी का ही आंसर होगा, है ना. चलिए नेक्स्ट पे आ जाते हैं. Constitution of India enshrines critical protections for persons accused of criminal offences, primarily under Article 20 and 21. Cornerstone of criminal justice framework. Prohibits retrospective application of criminal laws, ensuring that no person is convicted for any act or omission that was not an offence under the law at the time it was committed. Nullum crimen sine lege. Guarantees legality, forbidding ex post facto penal legislation and protecting against arbitrary prosecution. Further, Article 20 mandates that no penalty heavier than that prescribed by law at the time of the offence be imposed, preventing disproportionate or excessive punishment. Additionally, enshrines the principle of condemn in idem, double jeopardy, barring prosecution or punishment more than once for the same offence. Importantly, protects the individual from self-incrimination, prohibiting compulsion to testify against oneself, preserving integrity. Okay. 21 confers fundamental right to life and personal liberty, expansively constructed judicial precedents, live with human dignity encompassing health, shelter, livelihood, clean environment, privacy, protection against torture or cruel, inhuman or degrading treatment, deprivation not in accordance with procedure established by law, constitutional safeguard required requiring that such procedure be just, fair and non-arbitrary. For instance, while capital punishment is constitutionally permissible, it is limited to the rarest of the rare cases, must comply with strict procedural safeguards to prevent miscarriage of justice, right to article further, okay, fine. Bonded labor, custodial atrocities. Together embody constitutional ethos that no thing. देखो आप लोग ऐसे नहीं पढ़ सकते, मुझे बहुत सालों का एक्सपीरियंस है ना, ये लॉज बहुत साल से पढ़ा रही हूँ मैं, दीज आर्टिकल्स, दीज कंसेप्ट्स, आई बीन टीचिंग देम फॉर अ वेरी लॉन्ग टाइम, तो आई रिमेंबर देम लाइक द बैक ऑफ माई हैंड, इसीलिए मैं स्किम भी करूँ तो कोई इन्फॉर्मेशन मुझसे मिस नहीं होगी, मैं क्वेश्चन सॉल्व कर ही लूँगी। आप ना करें ऐसा, प्रॉपरली पढ़ें पैसेज को, ठीक है। आर्टिकल 21 guarantees right to life, personal liberty, which includes all except what? Right to human dignity include करता है, सही आंसर नहीं। Right to pollution, for right to lawful imprisonment without trial नहीं include करता, ठीक है। वो imprisonment lawful है ही नहीं जिसमें trial ना हो, ठीक है। तो this is wrong inherently, ये सही आंसर है। Protection against arbitrary prosecution and punishment in Article 2021 primarily serves to uphold what? The executive power? No. Rule of law, fundamental liberties? Yes. Which procedure must the state follow to deprive someone of their personal liberty in accordance? Procedure that is fair, just, reasonable, non-arbitrary, established by law. Not any procedure, not simple administrative order, not executive discretion. ठीक। An accused person chooses not to testify in their own defense during trial. Which right suppose this choice? Right against self-incrimination. Article 20 clause 3 प्रोटेक्ट करता है इस फंडामेंटल फ्रीडम को। Access tried for murder acquitted by the court, later state again prosecutes him for the same act with fresh evidence. Which principle under Article 20 protects him? Double jeopardy. Rahul committed an act in 2019 which was legal then. 2021 law made this act an offence punishable by 5 years. Rahul is sentenced 7 years in 2023 for the 2019 act. Is this constitutional? No, it is not. ठीक है, ex post facto application is barred by Article 20. No, क्योंकि retrospective penal laws application नहीं अलाउ हुआ, ठीक है। बी सही आंसर है और यही है हमारे मॉक का एनालिसिस। ये भी सिंपल था। अगेन, अगर आपको ये कंसेप्ट्स क्लियर हैं जो दे रखे हैं इस मॉक में, तो आपके लिए ये पैसेजेस मुश्किल नहीं होंगे, क्योंकि ऑब्वियसली बहुत सारा लॉ दे रखा है। आर्टिकल 20 पूरा समझा रखा है, 21 समझा रखा है और इतनी डिटेल में नहीं समझा रखा है। मतलब दोनों पैसेजेस को इस अजम्पशन पे फ्रेम किया गया है कि आपने पहले से पढ़ रखे हैं ये, क्योंकि एक नया बच्चा अगर पढ़ेगा तो कुछ नहीं समझ पाएगा, कैसे समझेगा डबल जेपर्डी के रूल को किस तरह से समझाया जा रहा है। हालांकि पैसेज एक्सप्लेनेटरी है, बट you know, a person or a child has to read it 2-3 times in order to understand what the passage is really explaining, और उतना टाइम एग्जाम में नहीं होता। खैर, तो कुछ ये बेसिक फंडामेंटल्स तो आप क्लियर ज़रूर करें, ज़रूर, in order to do well, ठीक है। चले, आज के लिए इतना ही, अगले मॉक के एनालिसिस में मिलते हैं। सब अपना ख्याल रखें। थैंक यू सो मच, बाय बाय।
Hello everyone, welcome to your session. So as you all know, in this part of the session I am going to discuss with you the solutions of your logical reasoning and quantitative aptitude from your recent mock, that was mock 9. I hope your mock really went well. You people attempted good number of questions over there, and your score is also coming out to be good. Now, in today's class, so without further ado, let's start with the questions of logical reasoning first, right? Let's see what were their correct answers, and then we will see quantitative aptitude. So, in logical reasoning, we had a passage. First, we had a passage. In early 2024, a mid-sized but rapidly growing digital currency exchange, CryptoNest, abruptly filed for bankruptcy. Just 6 months prior, the company had secured a large investment from a consortium of international venture capitalists, citing plans for global expansion. CryptoNest had earned a reputation for offering low transaction fees and rapid transfer times, attracting a significant portion of novice investors. However, by March 2024, several anomalies started surfacing. Customers complained of delayed withdrawals, and some reported that their accounts were being frozen without explanation. CryptoNest blamed these issues on a routine system upgrade, which it claimed would enhance platform stability. Simultaneously, rumors circulated that the company's CEO had sold a substantial number of personal holdings in crypto assets 2 weeks before the problem began. While the company denied inside trading, leaked documents revealed that CryptoNest had diverted a large portion of customer deposits into a high-risk crypto hedge fund, which collapsed following a market downturn in February. When the hedge fund failed, CryptoNest's liquidity dried up, making it unable to fulfill withdrawal requests. In April, regulators initiated a probe into CryptoNest's financial dealings, and by May, a full audit revealed that over 60% of customer funds had been misused or unaccounted for. While some industry insider blamed regulatory oversight failures, others pointed fingers at the company's internal governance structure, which allowed unchecked decision making by a few top executives. The broader crypto market was temporarily shaken, though larger, more transparent exchanges remain unaffected. All right, fine. Now, based on this passage, what questions we had? So, the first question was, which of the following can be most reasonably inferred as a direct cause of CryptoNest's inability to fulfill withdrawal request? See, we can say that we know that it is given in the passage that they transferred a huge amount of funds, right, investors' money, to a hedge fund which collapsed, right, and that's why their liquidity dried up. See, while the company denied, CryptoNest leaked documents revealed that CryptoNest had diverted a large portion of customer deposits into a high risk crypto hedge fund, which collapsed following a market downturn in February. When the hedge fund failed, CryptoNest's liquidity dried up, making it unable to fulfill withdrawal request. Right, so this was clearly written in the passage. Now let's see which is where it is in the option. Increase in number of new customers in early 2024. No sir, this was not the reason of CryptoNest's inability to fulfill withdrawal request. Technical issues due to system upgrade. Even though technical issue had been mentioned, but this was not the most reasonably inferred as the direct cause. This was not the direct cause. It was mentioned, right, but it was not the direct cause. Loss of liquidity following the collapse of a hedge fund. So this is correct, right, that they invested a large amount of investors' money into a hedge fund which suddenly collapsed, and due to which they were unable to fulfill, right, their liquidity dried up, and because of which they were unable to fulfill the request. All right, so correct answer will be option C. Next question, what was the most likely reason behind the CEO selling off personal crypto holdings before the withdrawal issues began? He wanted to invest in real estate. He anticipated the collapse due to the hedge fund's instability. Yes, because see, the timing of his sell reveals this. It was said that simultaneously rumors circulated that the company's CEO had sold a substantial number of personal holding in crypto assets 2 weeks before the problems began. Right, so if he had sold his personal holdings in crypto assets 2 weeks before the problems began, that means he anticipated that the fund is going to collapse, right? He anticipated this because his timing tells the same. Even though the company is denying insider trading, right? It was written in the passage that the company denied insider trading, but the CEO's timing, right, clearly supports the claim that he anticipated that the hedge fund is going to collapse, right? So he anticipated the crisis. So answer will be option B. Next question. Next question was, which of the following best represents a cause and effect relationship found in the passage, right? Cause and effect relationship found in the passage. The increase in customer base caused Cryptonest to lower transaction fees. No, they had a lower transaction fees, and that's why there was an increase in customer, right? So the second one is the cause, and then first one is the effect. So this is not cause and effect. This will be effect and cause. Right? So option A will not be correct. The system upgrade caused regulators to initiate an investigation. No, right? The system upgrade was giving a problem to the customer because their withdrawal requests were getting delayed, right? It did not initiated any investigation. The misuse of customers, because A and B will not be correct because they are not stated in anywhere directly in the passage, right? C, the misuse of customer funds led to Cryptonest collapse. Yes, they misused the customers' funds, which dried up their liquidity, and because of that, Cryptonest collapsed, right? Because the customers were getting furious because their request of withdrawal was getting denied. So ultimately, that led to the company's collapse, right? So answer will be option C. Right? A and B are not supported in the passage, and D, regulatory inaction caused the broader crypto market to crash. No, sir. Regulatory inaction, the crypto market was temporarily shaken, not it crashed. Regulatory inaction actually caused a temporary shake in the market, but that does not lead to the market to crash. No, that was not the reason. So D will not be correct. Here's correct answer will be option C. Next one, suppose the system upgrade had actually been successful and improved platform stability. Which one of the following is most accurate? Cryptonest would have avoided bankruptcy. See, the reason of bankruptcy was not technical glitches. It was misuse of funds, right? So customer would not have complained. The misuse of funds would still have led to a collapse. So this is correct. Even though the system upgrade had been successful and it would have improved the platform stability, right? Technical glitches were not the reason of the company's collapse, right? Misuse of funds, because the hedge fund collapsed, right? Their liquidity dried up, and now since the investors were not able to withdraw their requests, right, their money, that led to its collapse, right? So correct answer will be option C. Next one, which of the following is least likely to be a contributing factor to Cryptonest crisis? Poor internal governance, sudden drop in crypto market value, heavy regulation in crypto. See, heavy regulation was never talked about. There was, it was said, while industry insiders blamed regulatory oversight failure, right? There were oversight failures, not heavy regulations were there. There were lack of regulations, right? The passage talks about lack of regulation, not heavy regulation. So this is going to be the least likely contributing factor. Lack of regulation or oversight was a potential issue here. Next one, what conclusion can be best supported regarding the impact of larger crypto on the larger crypto industry? It suffered a complete breakdown in public trust. Most investors withdrew from market permanently. Only small exchanges were permanently affected. The impact was temporary and limited to some areas. Yes, because see, in the last part of the passage it said ki, while some industry insiders blamed regulatory oversight failure, others pointed fingers at companies' internal governance structure, which allowed unchecked decision making by a few top executives. The broader crypto market was temporarily shaken, though larger, more transparent exchanges remained unaffected. So it was temporarily shaken, and larger, more transparent exchanges remained unaffected. That means D will be the correct answer here. Right, D will be the correct answer here, that the impact was temporary and limited to only some areas, and was limited to some areas. Right. So this will be correct. 48D was the answer. Now let's go to the next passage. The next passage talks about in the hill down of Rudrapani, local farmers noticed a sharp decline in honeybee populations over the last year. In the hill town of Rudrapani, local farmers noticed a sharp decline in honeybee population over the last year. This trend alarmed both environmentalists and agricultural economists, as honeybees plays a vital role in pollinating crops, especially fruits and vegetables. Initially, many blamed climate change as the reason, as the region had experienced an unusually warm winter and a dry pre-monsoon season. However, upon closer investigation, it was discovered that the timing of the decline coincided with the introduction of a new hybrid cotton seed in the area. These seeds were genetically modified to resist common pests and required a specific type of pesticide known as flurizanol. While flurizanol had not previously been used in Rudrapani, its introduction was rapid and widespread. Local shops reported a 300% increase in sales of the chemical. Soon after, several local beekeepers reported findings large numbers of dead bees near flowering crops treated by flurizanol. Laboratory analysis confirmed the presence of flurizanol residues in bees tissue, suggesting that the pesticides might be toxic to pollinators, though it was declared safe for humans and livestock. Some agricultural officers argued that the bees were dying due to natural migration patterns or diseases, but entomologists pointed out that no similar declines have been reported in nearby regions where the hybrid seed and flurizanol were not used. By the time the authorities temporarily banned the use of flurizanol in July 2025, fruit crop yields have dropped nearly 40%, triggering significant economic losses for farmers. Meanwhile, cotton production, which uses the hybrid seed, remains stable or even increased in some areas. A panel was set up to further investigate the ecological impact of the chemical, but local farmers were already demanding compensation. All right. So this was your passage. Okay. Okay. Fine. So now based on this passage, what were the questions? So let's talk about the questions one by one. This was our first question. Which of the following is the most direct cause of honeybee in decline in Rudrapani based on the passage? Climate change and weather fluctuation. Even though climate change and weather fluctuation has been mentioned, right, but in nearby areas, right, this was not the reason. So this will not be the direct cause. Disease among bee colonies. Sir, it was not mentioned in the passage. There was no mention of disease among bee colonies. Introduction of genetically modified cotton seeds. Yes. Right, introduction of genetically modified cotton seeds, yes, right, but this will not be correct. See, genetically modified cotton seeds, this will not be correct, because D is the correct one. Use of pesticide flurizanol, because it said ki it was discovered that the timing of decline coincided with the introduction of new hybrid cotton seed in the area. So this seems to be the answer, right, but the seeds were genetically modified to resist common pests and required a specific type of pesticides known as flurizanol. And now the nearby areas, right, the nearby areas, it was also said ki in the nearby areas no similar decline had been reported in nearby regions where the hybrid seed and flurizanol were not used, right. So the direct cause was the use of flurizanol, right, because its use and timing aligns with the death of bees, right, and it is the most important part, right. Pollination was the most important part in fruit crop. So my correct answer will be option D, not C, option D. Right, because where we use fluorosanol, there we saw decline, honeybee decline, right? Next, if no decline in honeybee population was observed in nearby regions where fluorosanol was not used, what can we most reasonably infer? So what can we infer? The climate in nearby regions was unaffected by change. Bees in those regions are resistant to pesticides. Fluorosanol use is likely linked to honeybee deaths. Yes, because see, in the nearby regions where fluorosanol was not used, right, there was no decline in honeybee population, and in Rudrapani where use of fluorosanol was there, because even the retailers, the shopkeepers show a 300% increase in their sales. So this is going to be its use is likely going to be linked to the deaths of bees. All right. Next one, which of the following best explains why fruit crop yields dropped despite stable cotton production? Right. So cotton plants do not rely on pollination by bees as much as fruit crops. Yes, correct. See, cotton plants, they do not rely on pollination, right? But for fruit crop, pollination is very, very important. It is a crucial factor over there, and because of the use of fluorosanol, there were decline in bees population. There was a decline in bees population, so it would be the reason, right? So correct answer will be option A, because the honeybee decline affected pollination, right, which is critical for fruit crops. So this will be correct. Next one, which of the following, if true, would most weaken the argument that fluorosanol caused the bees' death? Right? Beekeepers in Rudapani use different hive maintenance techniques than those elsewhere. Fluorosanol was used in another hill town where no bee deaths were reported. So if B would have been correct, that another hill town has used the chemical fluorosanol and their bee death was not observed, then this is going to weaken the author's argument that fluorosanol is the cause for bee deaths. This is going to weaken, right? Because if another town is not observing it, this town observed, that means the cause is something else. But the passage is talking about that fluorosanol was the cause, because the timing of its usage and bee death aligns. Next, which of the following assumption underlines the farmers' demand for compensation? The government should promote cotton instead of fruit crops. Hybrid seeds are more profitable in long term. The use of fluorosanol directly caused their economic losses. So C would be correct. This assumption underlines the farmers' demand for compensation, that the use of fluorosanol caused bee death, which is important for fruit pollination of fruit crops, right, which is important for fruit crops, and because of decline in bees, right, pollination was not completed, or pollination was not done at such a level, which actually declined the fruit crop by 40% and ultimately leads to their economic loss, right. So option C will be correct here. All right. What conclusion is best supported by the passage, right? Cotton farming is more environmentally sustainable than fruit farming? No. Hybrid seeds should be banned in hilly regions? No. Agricultural chemicals can have unintended ecological effects? Yes, right. See, the entire passage illustrates how the use of new pesticides, right, though beneficial for cotton, caused unexpected harm to bees and fruit crops, right. It was good for cotton crop, but it was not good for bees and fruit crops. So agricultural chemicals can have unintended ecological effects. They did not intended this, but somehow it happened. So C will be correct here. So these were your logical reasoning answers, and now let's go to quantitative aptitude, quantitative techniques. A group of students appeared for a series of internal tests in mathematics. The scores of 5 students in the first test was 72. In the second test, 3 of the same students scored 68, 74 and 70 respectively, while the remaining 2 students were absent. In the third test, all 5 students appeared and the average score improved by 4 marks compared to the first test. Later, it was revealed that the total average score of the group across all 3 tests was 73.2. Alright, so now based on this passage, what were our questions? So my first question was, what was the total score of 5 students in the first test? See, the average score of 5 students in the first test was 72, right? So total score will be average, that is 72, into number of students, that is 5. So it will be 360, right? Because average into number of students will give me total score of these 5 students. So my correct answer will be option B. All right. Next, what was the total score of 3 students who appeared in second test? Sir, in second test, 3 students appeared and their scores were 68, 74 and 70. 68, 74 and 70, right? So 144, 152, 212. Next one, if the fifth student scored 85 marks in third test, what is the average of other 4 students in that test? Sir, in third test, the average of all the 5 students improved by 4 marks compared to the first test. So in first test, the average marks were 72, and now if the average of these 5 students, they improved by 4 marks, so average of third test will be 76 marks. If at a rate with an average of 76 marks, right, the total score of these 5 students will be 76 into 5, that is 380, right? That will be 380. Now 380 is the total score of 5 students, and now if the fifth student scored 85 marks, if I subtract 85 from it, right, the total score of remaining 4 students will be 295, right? 295 divided by 4. Now we will get the average score of 4 students. So 4 6 are 24, 55, 4 6 are 24, 4 7 are 28, 28 15, 4 3 are 12, 30 7 5, 73.7. Option D will be the correct answer. Next, what percentage of total score 952 marks came from the third test? Total score 952 marks came from the third test. Okay, so in the third test, right, total score was 380, just we have calculated. Total score was 380. Now 380 is what percentage of total score, which is 952 into 100. Solve this. When you are going to solve this, you will get 39.9%, something. So it will be 40%, right? Approximately it will be 40%. So B is the correct answer. Next one, if one student missed the second test but scored 75 in test 1 and 78 in test 3, what is his average across the 2 tests he appeared? See, in test 1 he scored 75, in test 3 he scored 78. Total divided by 2 will give me the average of these 2 tests. So 75, 153 divided by 2, it will be 76.5. Option C was the correct answer. 76.5, right? Next question, if one student scored 60 in first test and improved his score by 10% in third test, what was his score in third test? See, in test 1 if he is scoring 60 and now he is improving his score by 10%, so 10% of 60, that means he is improving his score by 6 marks. He is improving his score by 6 marks, so his score in third test will be 60 plus 6, that is 66. My correct answer will be option B, right? So these were your questions from logical reasoning and quantitative techniques in your mock 9. I hope all these questions, all these attempts of yours were correct, and you people are scoring good in this mock. Now I wish you all the very best luck for your upcoming mock, that is mock 10. And when I meet you in the next session, sir, I am going to discuss with you the questions and their solutions pertaining to mock 10. Till then, sir, thank you so much for watching this session. Keep learning, keep smiling.